Right, this is Wendake with a questionable pronunciation, but there we are. Let's call it Wendake for today. About Huron Indians and developing the area and dealing with the evil white men. My second play, and to celebrate that, I came last today. I love it. I think it's an incredibly clever game. The action element of it, where you have to draw out a line, noughts and crosses styly, is brilliant. Similar to Mombasa in the fact that you've got lines of actions that you can't then use later, and a need to balance out your scores across 4 tracks, because the pairs of tracks will only record the lowest score for each. I had a complete brainstorm and missed out on one of my bonuses 4 times, which is a real achievement considering there are only 7 years.
That's a record.
So I'm particularly proud of that. So yeah, I was a country mile behind these guys, but it's a very clever game, an awful lot to think about. The balancing of the actions is sublime, really. It's one of the best, top 2 of Essen 2017. Nussfjord certainly is up there as well. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer between the 2, but very, very good.
Gary?
Well, I was really pleased to see it's been sponsored by Cadbury's. And as Nick says, it's a very, very good game. It's not for the faint-hearted, not for the beginner, by a long way. Lots of ways to score points, and the action grid is a very clever idea, which I've not really seen in another game, so that's nice and original. Bit sort of Reiner Knizia, the scoring system, it's the lower of the tracks, the 2 tracks on either side that is your eventual score. Nice to see that being used. It's a very good game. Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, well, I was kind of surprised to tie with Gary, because I didn't really get the hang of the game too quickly. There are a lot of rules to take on board. I mean, there seems to be lots of elements of scoring to get your head around, each of which is nicely differentiated. There's nothing too similar through it, which is good. And ultimately, you're looking at just 4 tracks to add your score up at the end, and that's nice and neat and tidy. I like that. You're not adding up resources or having a little checklist of all the things on the board or anything like that. That said, the four lines do kind of drive your play. If you're trying to win the game, you really need to keep an eye on the whole way through the game that you're going to end up with your markers on those lines matching up, because if you don't match them up, you're wasting your time, really. You can be miles ahead down one track, but it makes no difference. If the other one's not doing very well, your score is poor. So that's one driving feature of the game. And the second driving feature that I found was that when you were using your grid here, you were constantly trying to improve your grid to give you the maximum number of goes at any one time by selecting the new tiles. So that, I wouldn't say was a no-brainer, but you basically chip in a tile and get one that's got 2 or 3 actions in that turn, so you're really sort of beefing up your hand all the time and watching all the time that you can keep accessing those as much as you can. Like Mombasa, things circulate there for, and you've got to keep your head around that if you possibly can, and you keep looking for opportunities to score points. It's good. The only thing I would just kind of it's not a criticism, is it doesn't feel too much like the Huron Indians or whoever it is around the Great Lakes. We picked up at the beginning that it doesn't matter where your boats actually sit on the lakes. It does look rather nice, but there isn't a great feel of that. I'm not sure how much I enjoyed the map play, really, because it was significant, but you kind of just spent a lot of time hoping somebody wouldn't wreck your position, and when they did, it wasn't a terribly nice feeling. So I'm not against that. It's just that I think we played in a quite a friendly way. If you played aggressively in this, I think there might be a bit of blood on the carpet sort of thing. But otherwise, yeah, it's a tough exercise to get your head around it initially. I think once you've got going, very, very nice game indeed.
Marked out of 10, Steve.
8.
Yeah, so it's very solid 8.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5.